Hi YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps and welcome to an early start to my 2018 gingerbread series. People, I think about gingerbread all year long and I buy gingerbread stuff all year long. And if you have been following me, you have probably seen my videos in my gingerbread series for the last several years. Well, it continues and I'm excited. Let me first share my first lot of Christmas tags that I created this month. These feel like the softer side of a Christmas. And yes, that's a bunny. But these are Christmas tags indeed. If you are interested in this video, you can click on the upper hand thumbnail right now and that will take you to this video. And I came across this die. I saw the picture before it was actually released. And when I found a seller who finally got it in stock, you can best believe I ordered. And when that seller took too long to ship my order, I came across another site that had just gotten it in and I ordered from that site. And guess what? Both dies came on the same day. Okay, so anyway, this is by Spellbinders. And you guys, it is cute. I love the shape of this one. It's called Gingerbread Boy Garland Tag. I will have this linked below. You see there are 10 dies. Okay, let me first share because I created 4 tags. And I'm going to share the one that's the plainest first. Though it's still very cute, and here it is. I made a recipe type Christmas tag using actual recipe cards. I thought that was really cool. Okay, so this one is the plainest because I did not add anything additional to my little gingerbread. And I'll talk about my process and products I used as I share the other tags. But isn't it cute? You got some pop-up dimension. Do you see all of my glaze action? And I used a stamp set that I just got a month or so ago. I shared it in one of my greatest craft find videos. Totally love it. So my next plainest tag, I'm going to say it's this one. But you guys, these do not look plain at all, right? They're not. They are not indeed. But it's very similar to this one, except I used a different recipe card. And I also did a couple other things different to this tag. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. Love them. And by the way, well, I guess this could be a boy. They're both boys. Okay, the next plainest tag is this one. I have 4 all together. And you can probably see at least one thing I've done different with this tag. But they're all so cute. And I love the idea of using recipe cards as my tag. Okay, and then the last tag I created is this one. This is the most embellished and I love it. One thing you can see different is this guy, he's brown, and the other gingerbread, they're a lighter shade of brown. Before I share the products I used and my process, I do want to share this book called Delight in the Details. I love this book. And the one thing, well, I've learned different things, but the one thing I learned that I'm always cognizant of when I create is to pay attention to details. And you'll see what I'm talking about as I share, contrast, and compare these tags. Okay, so this tag was my plainest tag, and let's remove whatever that is. But I'm not sure if you can tell. Well, you know, let me show you this. this is the recipe card that I used for both of these tags. And it comes from Cookbookin' Scrapbookin'. If you guys have been following me, you know I was on the hunt for these products. And I recently shared 2 My Greatest Craft Find videos, acquiring stamps that pretty much completed my collection. Well, unfortunately, this company, these products are retired, though depending on when you search on eBay, you might be able to find. Well, I used Miss Claus Kitchen, and this is the recipe card. Plain, right? But for this card, I applied glaze to the red part of the candy cane. I'm not sure if you can see that. Now, it's subtle, but if you pay attention to minute details like that, it'll provide that oomph to your card, although you may not be able to point out what it is. Okay, now for this card, one thing that I did differently from this one, I did apply the glaze, but I took it a step further and created a sugared or iced effect. So to the wet glaze, I used one of my all-time favorite products, Diamond Dust, and I'll have this linked below. And it provides that sugared crystalled or that ice crystalled effect, and I have it along the whole border of this recipe card. So just by adding those 2 details to these tags, that gave my tags more interest, more definition, and more depth. Okay, moving along to this tag. Can you see here where I've added the glaze, and I also added the diamond dust? I added it here as well. Now on the actual images, I've also glazed some images and added that diamond dust as well. I wish I had a plain tag. When I say plain, no diamond dust, no glaze, to do a fair comparison. But I think you guys can visualize what I'm talking about. So the stamps I used to create this recipe image and gingerbread here, gingerbread there, and the little hot cocoa cup. Well, once again, it's by Cookbookin' Scrapbookin'. I am working on a video sharing my collection of these products. This is called Sugar and Spice. And believe me, you guys, it's cute and nice. Okay, now, pay attention to these 2 gingerbread. This one is kind of messy. I forgot to fix it here. But I'll give you guys a tip already. You're working with 10 different dies. And some of these images, they're small. They're not tiny, but, you know, they can be hard to work with the smaller they get. So this is what I did. If you look at his face, I love this product, Nuvo Drops, to create a face. But there is a face that you can die cut out. I didn't do that here. But for the other faces, because I could not get the face straight or like I wanted it to be, what I did was die cut out the face, glued it down, and then for these 3 gingerbread, I used the Nuvo Drop over my die cut. And you see that here. So I did that for the hair. I did it for this squiggly part. I did it for the feet down here. And I think that's a wonderful tip if you're like me and you don't have a steady hand and you can't even draw stick people. If you want a more refined look, go ahead, apply your die cut down and use something like Nuvo Drop to add dimension. Now for the eyes, I use the glazed pens, but then to me, it's better to use Nuvo Drop in black, of course. I put that away already. And you see his eyes are nice and glossy. Nuvo Drops, they make the perfect circle. Very easy to use. Okay, back to this guy. To create this dimension, I used Neon Amplify in white. But then I thought, you know what? I am going to use something I shared in my Sweet Treat Decadon bottle cap video about a week or so ago. And it's texture paste. Heidi Swapp. Love this stuff. Well, I used that to create the dimension or the icing for this gingerbread and this gingerbread. So in case you're wondering, well, Felicia, what did you use to create your gingerbread? Can you guys tell what that is? You probably can't. Well, you guys, that is wood veneer by Crafter's Companion. I love this stuff. And it has adhesive on the back as well. I used it to create my gingerbread. And this one, I used an ink pad by Fun Stamper's Journey to color and shade it. Now, there is another difference, let's see, between this one and all three of these. Can you guys guess what it is? This gingerbread, and remember, we are paying attention to detail. This one is plain along the edges. But if you look at these three, let's look at this one. I've added glaze and iced or sugared crystal along the edge. And just by adding that, it gives these three gingerbread men so much more character and interest. And a couple other differences. You could see this tag. I used my gingerbread punch to punch out these gingerbread men here. And this is the only tag that looks like that. And then this tag. Well, I needed to add a touch of fabric. So the border along here is, of course, gingham or plaid. And it's a border of, let me show you the die that I use. I use this die set, and I'll give you guys a tip. Instead of using the whole square to add to the back of my tag, I cut out the tag with one of these dies and then used my scissors to just trim off the border part. And I applied the border along each side, and then on the back, this is how I will finish off these tags. Add another recipe card. Did that make sense? You turn it over, add the border strips of these circles here, and then add twine, and then layer it with another recipe card, just like that. So the backs of these three tags are not finished, but this one is totally finished. Oops, I need to secure this again. But pay attention not only to detail, but to orientation, because you can see here where I've added my recipe card upside down, but that is okay. And I love the idea of backing this with the recipe card because you can write your message to the recipient. So these recipe card tags can be used on your gingerbread cookies, if you do a gingerbread basket, if you give a gingerbread treat. You can give any type of baking or eating gift and attach a tag like this to it. Well, if you have been inspired by this video, why not like it? Give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to check my links below. And I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings.